So you're newer to the gym, you're getting into the gym, right? You want to know, should I start powerlifting? Why should I start powerlifting? What are the details to powerlifting? Well, you press on the right video. Now, this could even be for somebody that's more advanced in the gym and they want to switch over to powerlifting as well. What does that entail? What do you need to do for powerlifting, right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down how a powerlifting split works, how you can continue bodybuilding on the side of powerlifting if that's what you care to do, or how people like lifting and strongman can move over to powerlifting and how that transformation would work, right? So first I'm gonna start with somebody just new to the gym and they decided to pick powerlifting. Why would you pick powerlifting, right? Now, somebody who picks powerlifting wants to lift the heaviest weight possible. That's simple. They want to lift the heaviest weight possible. And when they do pick powerlifting, that's their intent. Your intent when you're picking powerlifting is to lift the most amount of weight possible. You're not powerlifting, right, to build a better looking physique exactly. Because a lot of reps, like on certain lifts, such as the bench press, squat, and deadlift, doing 2 or 3 reps on that, right? Even 1 rep, that's not exactly building your physique. That's not exactly toning you. I know some bodybuilders do it just to have more fun in the gym, but that's not exactly advancing that part of your lifting, right? It's more just powerlifting wise to see how strong you are and how you can get stronger to figure stuff like that out, right? That's the only reason we do singles, doubles, triples in the gym, right? It's literally just to see how's my strength progressing. Let's get a measurement of my strength and how can I make myself stronger. So if you're new in the gym and that sounds like something you want to do, then perfect. Powerlifting is for you. But it's important to note that powerlifting is not just squat, bench, and deadlift. You will never become very strong if all you do is you squat this day, you bench this day, and you deadlift this day, and you do no accessories, you do nothing else. I have tons and tons of videos on my page talking about how to program your days, how to program accessories into your lifts, and that's why I think this video fits in perfectly. Why didn't I make this video first? Well, because now I have all these other tools up there for somebody newer into lifting that can follow and learn how to program accessories into their lifts, right? Because you do need to work all the muscles in your body to get stronger. We do know that if we're going down on a bench press and we have no bicep strength, we may start getting shoulder tendonitis, right? Because what's pulling as you're taking the bar down? The bicep. You need a stronger bicep, right? You need everything for lifting. I've harped on this so many times that I don't even have to do it again in this video. But now let's talk to somebody who's coming from more of a bodybuilding background and they want to get into powerlifting. I see a lot of this, right? I see both ways of this. I see people starting from bodybuilding wanting to go into powerlifting, starting powerlift or did powerlifting, now they want to start into bodybuilding. The main reason for either one of these switches is the bodybuilding person is not having enough fun powerlifting, right? This is just this is the main thing, right? But a lot of times a bodybuilding person is having enough fun at the gym. It's just not super fun to them anymore. They want to lift some heavier weights, but still try to grow their physique. And then normally for powerlifter wants to transfer over to bodybuilding because maybe they don't exactly like the way that they look. They don't like that sort of progress, right? So I can see why both happen. But I see a lot of people also meet in the middle and do something called power building, which I would say that I'm doing myself, even though I'm really a power lifter. I'm not pushing my bodybuilding stuff that hard, but I still do it, right? I still do it to look better. I still don't want to walk down in a room and people will be like, yeah, that dude's like looks like he's never lifted a weight in his life, but yet he benches 500 pounds, right? No, I never want to be that guy. So I'm going to be working both, right? So now, if we go back, we compare someone who's transferring to powerlifting, someone from bodybuilding to powerlifting. A lot of times bodybuilders do warm-up sets and powerlifters do it too, right? But bodybuilder warm-up sets are a whole different game than powerlifting warm-up sets. A lot of times bodybuilders will do warm-up sets to actually warm their muscles up, right? So they're doing push-downs with lighter weight, but they're doing 20 push-downs. As on the powerlifting end, what you want to do on the powerlifting is you only want to do a couple reps, right? Like if you're warming up for a big bench, you might only do a couple reps at like 315. You might do 1 rep at 365. So you can then prepare yourself for 1 rep of 405, right? You're not exactly building the pyramid up, but you're actually starting at the top of the pyramid, jumping up to the top of the pyramid, and then working down for the most part, right? So what do I mean by this pyramid style? Like how is this different from bodybuilding, and like should this work out for me? Well, typically in bodybuilding, a lot of the time they start at a lighter weight and they hammer out a ton of reps, and then they go to the heavier weight, and then if they after that they might have a little heavier weight, and then they can come back down the pyramid. But for a lot of times for us powerlifters, we want to save all our strength so we can see how strong we are, right? Like, it wouldn't make a lot of sense if I wanted to max out for me to do a 315 AMRAP max reps, right? And then jump straight to my max. That probably wouldn't work, right? My triceps would probably be sore. So what we do is we try to jump, right? And we try to jump. We try not to exactly make this line, just try to jump. Once we're at the top, then we hit our top single, then we hit the top working set, whatever it is for that day, and then you can work down. So, right, if I hit 405 for 2, and then I hit 315 for 8, I hit 275 for 8, 265 for 8, right? So we're then building the pyramid down, but we're really jumping up the first half of it. And that's something to look at. Like, am I okay with doing that? And now another thing to look at when you're powerlifting is, are you okay spending more time in the gym? Now, the way that I compare the two, bodybuilding and powerlifting, is bodybuilding spends way more time outside of the gym. Meals, cardio, just shopping for food, right? Everything. You spend more time outside of the gym. Powerlifters spend way more time in the gym, but way less time outside of the gym. That's something to note, right? In the gym, because powerlifters, it takes me just to get done benching like an hour, and then after that I'm still doing just about the same, maybe a little bit less, about the same amount of accessory work though as a bodybuilder would be doing, right? So a lot of these bodybuilders can get in and out in like an hour. It's going to take me 2 hours minimum every day. It really doesn't matter the day, right? Because I'm going to do my main lift and then I'm going to hit this. So now if we're looking at somebody who's coming from strongman to powerlifting, how does that really work, right? Not even a strongman, but just like a different type of lifting, any other different type of lifting. I'm not super involved with strongman. I don't know 100% how that works, but the one thing that I do know is if you're training for like football, you're training for baseball, whatever, and you're also getting into powerlifting, you're coming from a sport into powerlifting, what's really cool to note is that the biggest thing that I can note this on is just like strongman, there's way less lifts, right? It's only the squat, bench, and deadlift. If you're going into the Olympic lifting too, it's clean and hang clean, right? It's only those two, or clean and jerk. Sorry, I'm not super familiar with the Olympic lifting, but when you're transferring over there, it's way more specific, right? Powerlifting is way more specific. Now, I see a lot of strongman guys, they're not super great at their event, but that's okay. They can still win the whole entire thing because they can make it up in another event. Compared to powerlifting, if you're not really like pretty good at all three, you're probably going to lose to somebody who's at least pretty good at all three, right? So it's much more niche. It's much more just like different, right, in powerlifting compared to a lot of these other things. And training for like football, baseball, whatever sport that may be, whatever training that may entail, that's also training a ton of different lifts. A lot of people use conjugate method when they're training for like football, baseball, whatever. They use a conjugate method, right? So they're maxing out constantly different lifts, stuff like that. You can still use conjugate for powerlifting, but I'm saying at the end of the day in powerlifting, there's really only 3 lifts that you have to work on and fix. And when you're training for all these other sports, you're really training a bunch of different lifts. You're training a bunch of things. So it's way more simplified, but it's much more work on that one time. Overall, I'd say like training for powerlifting and training for strongman, sports, whatever, this is probably about the same amount of time in the gym, but you could see eventually probably a little bit more time for like elite powerlifters and elite strongmen. The rest is probably under there or below there. You see what I'm saying? You're not spending that much time, but so yeah, hopefully you guys get like a good understanding on, should I start powerlifting? How does powerlifting work? Is it for me, right? Like, how does the time work? Everything like that. Anybody that would be new to trying powerlifting, if you're open to it, I'd highly recommend it, right? I really think it's a great thing to learn what your body is capable to do, right? And that's not even just like saying, oh yeah, you have to go squat 800 pounds. No, if you squat 400 pounds and that's good to you, that makes you happy, that's a big accomplishment to you, then go do that, right? Really go do that, and I would be thrilled for you. So it's not really about just becoming the strongest person ever, but learning what your body can do and learning in that aspect. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. And this is Blake Wentz signing out. Peace.